Hey everyone, it's time for an update on Wimbletrain. Let's go and have a look what I've been up to. So my latest plan, yes, changing my mind again, is I want to redo all this. I don't mind this part down here, but this, with the kits I use, the Metcalf ones, I prefer now using the scale scene, so I want to just build a whole new thing. I'll leave this intact. That's fine, I'm not going to destroy it, but what I'll do is I'll build a triple module that'll cover this module and that module, and that'll contain the station and some shops and all that sort of thing. So I'll just make this road go straight across there, and probably station building to one side. We'll see how we go in the design. And then these two, as I've mentioned before, this is going to be replaced by a double module, and that'll just continue on the town through here, probably a bit more industrial down this end. So that's the plan. Now we can go and I'll show you the modules I'm building that are going to replace these eventually. Right, so here we are. This is a triple module, and the double module over there that I was talking about is going to replace those two that I just showed you. Now don't worry about this one being higher, this is actually up higher because the paint's still drying around the sides here. Just done the undercoat. Come around here, see a bit better. That's just the white undercoat at the moment, then I'll spray it with the green. So that's a double module, and also with this double module I'm going to include a crossover using the Pico track code 80, and that'll be so we can get from the outer loop to the inner loops of the layout, because at the moment now the outer loop is isolated from the rest. So that'll complete that part, and we'll be able to cross trains over to any of the other tracks. So that's the two modules there. Just waiting on some track for this one, and just waiting for a bit of the Pico Flex track for that. Then we can get started doing those. In the meantime, we can build our kits. So as part of my new triple module and double module builds to replace the existing station module, this is the start of the scale scenes kits that I'm going to do. Now all these pages here represent two kits, one being the station platform kit, which is most of the ones on this part here, and then the other kit I'm going to do is the large station building, that one there, and that's basically more or less all those pages up there. No doubt with the platforms I'll probably have to print out more of the sides for underneath the platform, along the sides, the bricks. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do there. A few pages to go through there. So as well as those other kits, these are the other ones I'm going to do, the corner shops, which is a whole bunch of pages, and they work together with the terraced houses kits there. So there's a few pages to do there. I haven't started spraying those yet. There's a signal box here, which is only 2 pages, and then we've got a kit I did previously was the fire station and the church. As well as that, there'll be probably service station and some warehouses and things like that, which I've downloaded, but I haven't had a chance to start on those yet. So there's a lot to do there, so we'll get started one day and see how we go. So as well as all those other kits that I said I was going to build, in the meantime I've built this row of cottages. I've built 2 of them, the scale scenes kits again of course, and I ordered the glazing from them as well to finish it off. So this one just needs the chimney pots put on. So that's what they look like. They come out very nice. I've done a little bit of weathering on the roof because the roof was very bright. I think this one might need a bit more. I might do a bit more actually on both of them. Yeah, it was a bit too bright, so I dulled it down with some black weathering powder. So that's all good there. Now the actual chimney pots are 3D printed. And they come out because they don't. Otherwise, you've got to make paper ones from the kit. But I thought I'll try and give them a go on the 3D printer, and they turned out really good. Happy with that. So one other thing I 3D printed was this digger, and I've painted it up, and yeah, it hasn't come out too bad at all. So I've done a bit of ballasting on my Pico section of track on this triple module here, using the Woodland Scenics grey blend fine ballast. Now what I use is a scenic glue. I did use the Woodland Scenics one, but then watching on YouTube, I think it might have been Luke Town suggested to use this Mod Podge. You have to use the matte one, don't use the glossy one, and make your own. And basically it's 1 part Mod Podge, 3 parts water, and for every litre 5 drops of detergent. And yeah, it works really good. That's what I used on here. And the other thing, when I was doing these points and trying to get the ballast in there and that sort of thing, rather than just spreading it everywhere and trying to clean it, I put some ballast in one of these little bottles, so you've got really good control. It's a tiny hole, and you can get right in between the points and just put exactly what you want in there. And when you've done that, I've got another little bottle with my Mod Podge mix. You would have all seen these types of bottles, and then you can just apply the glue in the exact spot you want around the blades and that, so you're not sort of getting glue everywhere. So that's what I did. I've only got a small section to do, so you know, it might be a little bit tedious, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I did purchase some of these ID vaccines, premium range vaccines, and how I'm going to do this, hopefully, I've thought about it for a while, of course, like everything. So I've got some 3mm MDF, and I'm going to put this what is it, 42 by 19 pine behind, because I've got a gap either side, on that side and that side, to bring the vaccines up to the modules. So I've got some long lengths of that, and then this will be the vaccines that I'll eventually stick down onto those boards, and yeah, I go right round. So I've got all the MDF to go all the way around, and the other pine that I'm going to use to frame it with at the back, just to space it out from the wall to meet up with the back of the module. So that'll be on the list of projects to do. So we did have a new arrival to the layout, and this is the Class 52 Western Duke in chromatic blue, made by Dapol, and I've fitted a it's got a Next 18 decoder in it, and I fitted a Zemo one so I can use the F2 braking function. Another addition to the fleet is a couple of extra carriages for the Class 43 HST there, because the original kit only came with 2 coaches. Added a couple more. So also purchased from DM Toys a couple of vehicles. Now this one's a Trabi. The other one I got was a Ford Transit Mark II. Now this looks like a little 3D printed type thing to me. Could be wrong, but yeah, so it comes in 2 pieces. So you got the body shell, then you got the actual body, and you've got to paint it up yourself. a bit like what I did with this other little crash car over here. That was a similar thing. I just painted that up. And the Cortina next to it as well was a new one I got from DM Toys as well, the police car. And if you've seen previous episodes on this channel, you would have seen the build of the viaduct here in front of me. It's another addition to the layout. So as you can see here, I've ballasted this section and added some greenery now as well, because I didn't want just plain ballast all the way across, look a bit boring. This way I can put some trees over here and some bushes and things and break it up a bit. Now every time this class 37 would come around here, it'd stop on these set of points, just coming up now. It'd just stop and it'd actually come off the rails. And what I ended up finding was that it was the gauge of the wheels. Now there's a tool you use to measure this with, so I'll just take you over the other side of the layout and we'll have a look at it. So this is a tool I use to measure the gauge of the wheels. And basically how you use this is you remove your coach or loco wheels. You basically put that over there like that. So in this case, this fits over fairly well. In the case of the class 37, these two wheels were actually too close together. And when I went to put this on, I couldn't put it on. So I had to pull the wheels out a little bit to adjust them and then put this back on. So very handy tool. So if you don't have one, it might be worth getting one. Now the reason I did get this was on the recommendation, and I got to thank this guy for this. I asked on a YouTube channel, Paul Sheedy and his Wickford N-Gauge Railway, about some problems I had, and he replied, he said, well, check your wheel gauges, get yourself one of these. And they call it a back-to-back gauge. That's what this is. So yeah, very handy device. So thanks Paul, that has solved my problem in this case. So yeah, really good, really happy with that. And here it goes again. I've run it several times, and as soon as I adjusted the wheel gauges, it fixed the problem. Amazing. One last thing, I almost forgot to mention this because I have to thank someone for the suggestion to do this. But this piece here in the middle is actually, there's a gap like it was here. So what I've done, that's just the 6mm MDF, the same as the top of the modules, and I've built a frame, so all my wiring that's hidden under here, so it's just a frame that supports that the same level. So it's all removable, modular, then that'll just sit in like so, and that'll give us not only a connection across here but a lot more room to put some more housing or whatever we want to put on there, parklands. So that's a great idea. Now this was mentioned very early on in my channel and by Chris from Bognor Regis YouTube channel. Now he probably doesn't remember because it was a suggestion really early on when I started this channel, and I almost forgot about it, but for some reason it entered my head one day. So yeah, thanks Chris for that, for asking whether I was going to put anything there, and I think this is a great idea. So that's pretty much it for this update. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks to all the subscribers and all the people watching, really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.